Hey, what's up, body bags? It's Monday, and figured I'd review an Asian movie from Japan that I've never heard of, never seen. I only picked this up at Grindhouse Video just strictly based on the cover, because there's something about that cover I really dug, and the fact it was put out from Unearthed Films, which company I really dig. And like I said, I had heard nothing about this. I never hear anybody talk about it. And when I picked it up from the store, I knew nothing about it. Didn't even read the back, nothing. All I saw was the cover and the fact that it said Japanese cyberpunk collection. But this was made in 1991, and it's from a director who did Rubber's Lover, which is a Japanese cyberpunk film that Unearth actually released too. And I think that's pretty much it as far as like full feature movies go. He did, but a general synopsis for this is the guy on the cover. He is a sex android. He's made by this company strictly to make like a pleasure android, pretty much. The owner of this particular sex android, though, is disappointed in his performance and all that, and this thing's not performing to this woman's standards. So she basically throws this android out on the street with no memory, wipes the memory and everything. And this android's pretty much roaming the streets, and he comes across this woman who also has no memory, and she's sitting in the park just drawing maps, and you're not really sure what the deal is with this woman. But she basically kind of takes this android in and starts feeding him and all this and that, and you're basically uncovering the mystery of this woman. That's halfway through. It's kind of revealed what she is. And I gotta say, I wasn't expecting the kind of reveal of what this woman was. It really blew me away. That's why I don't want to give anything away about it, because it took me by surprise. But that's all I want to say about the plot. And the company that produced this android, that's what the companies calls these things, are the 964 Pinocchios. Um, the company's looking to get this thing because they don't want the public to know what they're making and all that. And that's the general plot for this. Now, this came out in 91, and I wasn't expecting a whole lot from this, strictly because I'm like a huge Asian cinema fan. It's some of my favorite films of all time are from Japan and just Asian countries and stuff, or cities or whatever. And but I wasn't actually really expecting much because Unearthed Films had actually put out a Asian film called The Red Room, and I actually really did not like that movie at all. I really hated that movie, to be honest. So like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect from this. I do like Unearthed Films, but like I said, that one Asian film they put out that I did see, I wasn't a fan of. But I'll say right off the bat, I was highly impressed with this movie. This movie actually blew me away. It's really high energy, like really fast paced, really just intense high energy. If you've ever seen Tetsuo the Iron Man, this would be a perfect double feature with that movie. This thing, all I could think about while watching this was Tetsuo the Iron Man. It has the exact kind of same camera work, and just there's a lot of throwback things to that movie. Now, the effects in this I thought were really well done for what they were given. I mean, there's a scene in particular where this android kind of has this like meltdown, and there's all these weird fluids leaking out of his body, and he blood squirting out of his nose and his mouth, and it looked really cool. And and then after that, where you see what happens to this android is just really bizarre, and it was just bizarre, but like a good in a good way. It's like a lot of WTF moments, like what in the world did I just see? And also, I gotta say, this movie, I don't like puke in movies, or not that I don't like it, just it's one of those things that grosses me out. Like I could watch all the gore in the world, but for some reason I don't like puke and shit. Those two things I just don't. They just disturb me. This movie, there's a scene in particular where there's this woman's just puking up piles of this puke, and then she just lays in it and she's rolling around in it, just laughing like a maniac and stuff, almost like getting off on laying in this puke. And there's just a lot of bizarre imagery as far as a lot of that stuff goes. Now, I really dug the way this thing was shot. I wish there was like a commentary or something on this because I would love to know more about this, because this has a really like punk, do-it-yourself type feel to it. I almost wonder if all the shots in this movie were shot guerrilla style without anybody knowing, because like there's some scenes where it's shot in a store and stuff, and the way it's presented, I have a feeling that nobody in this store knew what was going on. It's almost like this director was just holding a camera telling this person what to do, and they're just doing it guerrilla style, which I thought was really cool. It's definitely really worth checking out. I mean, I picked this up for $7 at Grindhouse Video because Unearthed Films was having that half off sale. So if you could find this for like 10, $15, I definitely recommend picking it up because I think that sale is over. But this would still be worth full price. And I actually looked this up too after seeing it, and it said on the Wikipedia page that this and the director's other movie, Rubber's Lover, are out of print. I don't know how true that is because I did look it up on Amazon, and there are a few copies available, and but they're from like third-party sellers. But I got this brand new, still in the shrink wrap from Grindhouse and stuff. I didn't check the website on Earth Film to see if it's available. So if you are thinking about picking this up, or you have any interest in it whatsoever, I highly recommend picking it up now because, you know, if Wikipedia is saying that and stuff, and only third-party sellers are selling this on Amazon, you know, I do have a feeling it is going to be out of print very soon, if not already. You know, I think if you're into any kind of Asian cinema at all, this needs to be in your collection for sure. Like I said, I don't hear anybody talk about this, and I feel like this movie should get a lot more love than it's getting, because I feel like, you know, you hear about all the classic Asian movies, you know, all the time, but this one, and you even hear about Tetsuo the Iron Man all the time, and this one is just as good as Tetsuo the Iron Man. Like, I wouldn't say one's better than the other. They're both really fun to watch, you know. It's an hour and a half, kind of flies by. Just, there's some in it, what's pretty much like, this is like a nightmare on film, pretty much. Like, the first half hour is setting it up, everything, and there's not really much going on. The first hour is just kind of setting up who everybody is, but once this android kind of has this like meltdown, it's just like a surreal nightmare. Like, this almost feels like if David Lynch was an Asian director and all that. It's really David Lynch feel, like a lot of like Eraserhead vibes to it. Just really cyberpunk is definitely a good word for this movie. And this is presented in a full frame presentation, the 133. So there are the black bars, but I mean, it's a low budget movie from '91. And it actually has an interview with the director, and it has a 1988 short film that he did called Caterpillar that actually was pretty cool, and it's actually decent length. It's like 33 minutes, so it's really badass. They put that as a special feature on here. And there's a gallery and trailers. Yeah, highly recommend picking this up. And the inside of it came with this cool little insert. Not really anything on it, just some cool pictures like that, and then that. I was just highly impressed with this. Like I said, I threw this in my bag at Grindhouse just for a throw-in. $7, why not? Figured I'd roll dice on it. Really stoked I picked this up. If I would have saw this, say you're down the road and I hadn't picked this up and it was out of print, I would be pretty bummed out. But yeah, definitely check this out if you have any interest in Asian cinema at all. Now's the perfect time to do it. But anyways, guys, peace.